Fox News Alert, we've told you Hillary Clinton has been speaking to reporters a little bit more of late. Let's listen to today's tape just in.
Has been bankrupted in his company 6 times. He's been sued about 4,000 times. He's been accused repeatedly of fraudulent behavior. His so-called Trump University is under investigation right now because of the way it has scammed so many students who thought they'd get a better opportunity in life. And we've recently learned that his Trump Foundation has been fined for illegal activity when it made a political contribution to the Attorney General of Florida at the time she was being asked by her constituents to investigate Trump University because of the effects that these people that she's responsible for had experienced. And of course, as we know, there was a phone conversation between them. They contradict each other. The American people deserve to know what was said because clearly the Attorney General did not proceed with the investigation. So the list is growing. The Washington Post has a long list of many of the behaviors, the experiences, the activities that Trump is engaged in that raise serious questions. The New York Times discovered about $650 million owed to foreign banks and foreign entities. We know about his relationships with the Kremlin, his own and those of people with whom he has worked. And truly, the list goes on and on. The scams, the frauds, the questionable relationships, the business activities that have stiffed workers, refused to pay small businesses. So clearly, his tax returns tell a story that the American people deserve and need to know. And his continuing claim that he can't release his tax returns because he's under audit has been disproved repeatedly. And so the question really is, will he abide by the precedent that everyone else, Republican and Democrat alike, have fulfilled in providing that critical information to the American people? I think the burden is on him, and indeed for the rest of us in the campaign, on our side, the press, the public, to demand what a big majority of the American public says they want, which is for him to release his tax returns. So I'm going to continue to raise this because I think it is a fundamental issue about him in this campaign that we're going to talk about in one way or another for the next 62 days because he clearly has something to hide. We don't know exactly what it is, but we're getting better guesses about what it probably is. And if he's going to pursue this campaign, he owes it to the American people to come clean and release those tax returns. So we'll take some questions.
With that, let's start with Jen right here.
Hi, Jen.
So this is not going to be my question, but kind of taking off of that first. Do you think that you were helped with your but they're concerned about you? And more broadly, Jason Chaffetz today asked a judge to look into the deletion of some of your emails and has said that he's going to do more hearings, including one on FOIA on Thursday. Are you concerned that they're just continuing to dig into you, and do you worry that if you win, they will keep doing that?
Jen, that's a very good question. Jen basically said, do I think there is a different standard for Trump than for me? And do I think that a lot of these issues that are raised about Trump are dismissed because somehow the American public has factored into their assessment of him that, you know, that's the kind of guy he is, right? And a lot of this behavior coming from him seems to be expected somehow. And that's fine if you're a reality TV star or you're a real estate developer
initiate this investigation, though, he's asked for a U.S. attorney to look into whether your aides deleted emails that had already been subpoenaed. Do you have any concerns that emails were deleted after they were already supposed to be preserved, and did you ask for them to be deleted?
No, of course not. I have no concern on either count. None. And neither did the FBI.
As you're doing debate prep, are you preparing to go after Donald Trump's personal life? And do you think his personal life is fair game? And on a related note, is there a member of your staff or a surrogate of yours that you think is well equipped to play the role of Donald Trump in democracy?
Look, I am preparing for the debates. I'm doing my homework. Donald Trump is a self-proclaimed great debater. He won every one of the Republican debates. So I take nothing for granted. I think this will be a difficult, challenging debate, which is why I'm going to be thinking hard about what I need to present to the American people. I think there is so much in his political and public life that deserves to be examined. I am going to concentrate on what will affect the American people were he ever to get anywhere near the White House, because as I've said repeatedly, he is unqualified to be president and temperamentally unfit to be commander-in-chief. I think this is a huge challenge that his candidacy poses for our country. And the choice couldn't be starker. So we're going to talk about the kinds of things he has said about our allies and our friends, his